Hello everybody, I'm Elizabeth Shaw and this channel is all about the narcissistic personality disorder to give you more understanding of what you might have been through, the people that have been in your life and ways to recover from narcissistic abuse. This video is about the female vulnerable narcissist. Now, on a whole, for most of the videos, I do try to stick with narcissist as both male or females can have NPD. This is a bit more about the female narcissist. The narcissistic personality disorder is a disorder and they do need to have at least 5 of the traits to have the disorder. These are: 1, has a grandiose sense of self-importance, exaggerating achievements and talents. 2, preoccupied with ultimate success, lives in a fantasy world of power, control and dominance and brilliance. 3, superiority, believing they are special and above all others. 4, entitled, feels entitled to have all their needs met, demanding, manipulative and controlling. 5, excessive admiration, a constant need to be admired by everybody. 6, exploits others, often takes advantage and will manipulate others to get their own needs met. 7, a lack of empathy, as they cannot truly connect with others or how other people are truly feeling. 8, jealous and envious. They hate people who have something that they want and they also believe that people are jealous of them. 9, arrogant and exaggerated sense of their own abilities and behaviours. Male and female narcissists have these traits. The female will lack empathy and manipulate just like the male narcissist. Deep down, all narcissists have possibly no sense of self. They are very jealous people. They have very fragile egos and are insecure. So they have to mask all of this by either playing the victim or being grandiose, covert or overt narcissists. It's all an act to cover up how damaged they truly are and how envious they are. It's all a defense mechanism, and it's usually nothing to do with the person they're actually around. It's all to do with wearing that false mask and protecting themselves. Male and female will use manipulation and gaslighting. They'll be charming. If it's your partner, they'll come across as your soulmate. The female will use her sexuality to pull you in. They can quite often rush intimacy and want to make you feel like a man. To make you feel like a man, they use their sexuality to hook you in. Whereas the male narcissists tend to use all the romance, sweeping you off your feet, all the things women want to hear. So they use emotions to hook you in. Both male and female will be obsessed with achievement, status and money. They both want to be successful. Male or female, it's never enough. They always want more to fill a void that they cannot fill. Both male and female like to spend money, whether it's their money or not. Not all, but most female narcissists want to hook up with someone who has money, and some male do this also. Females want to brag and flaunt everything they're getting from the male partner. Both male and female narcissists want to be the centre of attention due to needing to feel validated and cover up their low self-esteem. Both males and females believe they are better than everyone else and people look up to them and are envious of them, just showing superficial and false things to cover their inner feelings. With a female narcissist, they tend to be bitchy and a bully. Most women will have had a moment of gossiping within their lifetime and not feeling good for doing so. That's normal. Humans can all gossip. You will have a moment afterwards where you think, no, I shouldn't really be judging, and feel guilty for doing so. With a female narcissist, they will gossip about anyone and everyone. They simply do not care. They are bullies. It's just to make themselves feel better about themselves. You get, they want something new. They want something better. They enjoy bringing other people down. even if they're not a narcissist, someone who constantly puts others down is basically screaming out their own inner insecurities. Both male and female do enjoy putting other people down. Female narcissists and male narcissists are both passive-aggressive and put others down because they are jealous of other people, because someone's got a quality that they haven't got, or someone's got something that they haven't got. Both male and female narcissists will make a golden child, and they will make a scapegoat child or the invisible child. Female and male narcissists will devalue, smear and discard. We all have narcissism in us. We can all have those selfish moments, or those moments where we say something that we shouldn't. Good people will recognise what they did wrong, feel guilt, apologise, try their best not to make the same mistake twice. Narcissistic people do not have the ability to care for various reasons. They're lacking in empathy, unable to reflect, blaming all others, as to them the world is against them, especially the woe is me vulnerable narcissist. Some research I found in 2018 suggests that 7.7% of men and 4.8% of women have narcissistic personality disorder. It is quite hard to diagnose NPD, as most will not go for treatment, and a lot can fool any test quite easily. Most people that I do speak with are women who've suffered abuse, emotional and sometimes physical, at the hands of a male. Also, men that have been in a relationship with a narcissistic man, and most deaths at the hands of narcissistic psychopaths or sociopaths, murders from abusive partners or stalkers, are women killed by men. There are a few explanations for this, which I will go into further. Men are possibly more likely to take their own lives due to the emotional trauma from the narcissistic relationship. Firstly, males are usually programmed from an early age to be tough, to not cry. They are dominant, powerful and strong. As a woman myself, it was extremely daunting and took a lot to overcome my own pride and my own ego. That not only had I been in an abusive relationship, I'd stayed way longer than I ever should have. Also, fear of judgment from others. With that in mind, my personal opinion is it's a lot harder for the alpha male, just a sweeping generalisation, to step forward and speak up about what they have been through. I also believe society is quick to blame the male and believe the female narcissist who's playing the woe is me victim extremely well. So statistics are most likely not accurate. All narcissists feel inner shame. The main difference between male and female narcissists is males can be more prone to use emotional and physical violence. Female narcissists are most likely to just use emotional violence, which emotional violence is extremely confusing and damaging, as it destroys people in the most unimaginable ways. The vulnerable narcissist. All narcissistic people have a lack of empathy, a sense of entitlement, lack of emotional regulation, feelings of superiority, disorder in home life and professional life and personal life. The relationship between facts and feelings don't match up. The self-esteem issues characterised by the up and down feelings, and so many more. The vulnerable narcissist is considered to be a part of the covert narcissist. A vulnerable narcissist has a victim mentality. They are always running around playing the victim and always require a lot of sympathetic attention. All narcissists can play victim when they feel a need to manipulate in that way. Like all narcissistic types, they are emotionally draining to be around. With the vulnerable, it's mostly because of how sensitive they are, on top of them being emotionally demanding. Their mission in life is to get the people around them to see them as perfect creatures that they believe themselves to be. Vulnerable narcissists are often depressed. The life they live does not meet the fantasy of the life they feel entitled to. Unlike people with other disorders that try to take their own lives or self-harm, vulnerable narcissists are the type of people that will make threats in order to get attention, but they'll rarely follow through with it. People who are severely depressed often don't cry out for help and often take action, unfortunately, before the loved ones can step in to help them. Vulnerable narcissists use it to gain attention from people. Now, if there is someone in your life that is crying out for help, I wouldn't say ignore them. They could quite possibly be in need of that help and support. So, if you can't personally help them, phone someone else to get them the help that they need, just in case, because we can all read situations wrong. So just tread carefully when people are playing that card, because some could genuinely need the help and support. A vulnerable narcissist believes that they are perfect, like most narcissists. They perceive that the world is out to get them. They try everything to get attention they believe they deserve by manipulating those around them. They are emotionally draining to be around, as they are highly sensitive, emotionally very, very fragile. They are vain, they are self-destructive, they can act infantile. Their first line of narcissistic defense is they will be passive-aggressive and shutting people out, opting to use the silent treatment as their preferred method of manipulation to punish others. Now, people can be genuinely hurt or genuinely in need to sort their own feelings out and go into silent mode. They will not use it to manipulate or provoke other people. They are also known as introverted, covert, fragile, closet narcissist. They still feel and believe they are superior to most people that they meet, yet they hate being in the spotlight at the same time. They often seek to try and attach themselves to what they see as special people. They will seek pity from others to get sympathy and maybe excessive generosity towards others to receive that attention and admiration that they need to boost their own inner self-worth. Some vulnerable female narcissists, and those that might not have narcissistic personality disorder, they just want that rich, powerful alpha male to take charge. As they are extremely emotionally charged, they can go with their feelings rather than their thoughts of logic. So if they feel that someone's hurt them in some way, they will believe that someone has hurt them in some way, even if someone hasn't actually done anything to hurt them. They will manipulate, they will gaslight, intimidate, provoke to cause that reactive abuse. They will do all they can to push your buttons until you explode. Both narcissistic men and narcissistic women do this, but sometimes men are labelled as narcissists who have just simply been around a toxic person who's pushed every single button in them, that then we all have narcissism in us, so that side to them has come out because they've been provoked so badly, and then the woman runs off to play the victim. Not in all cases. There is plenty of cases where the woman has been with a narcissistic male. You kind of have to look at past patterns of people, how they treat all other people, whether they have respect for other people, how they talk about other people, to try and work out which one is genuinely telling the truth on what's really happened within the relationship. Now, when most men act on impulse, using each part of their brain at that moment in time, women have a whole lot more emotional attachment. I'm not saying that men don't, just women that are emotionally charged remember a lot more as they have attached emotions to the experiences. Men's brains don't always do this, some do. So narcissistic women can and will use things against others that happened years ago. They can simmer on something they felt was said or done to them, not actually said or done to them, and use it against someone years later. Research suggests that NPD is often diagnosed as something else in women. For those who do get a diagnosis, they're often diagnosed with borderline personality disorder or something similar. You could also be dealing with a female that's just suffering from PTSD from past abusive situations. Not always, yet symptoms are similar. The main thing to look out for to spot the difference is, are they entitled and do they exploit others? If they don't do those two things, they are most likely suffering from PTSD and not NPD. A relationship with a vulnerable narcissist female is they want you when you don't want them, and they don't want you when you do want them, simply because they don't know what they want. This could also be due to PTSD from trauma and desperately wanting and needing to feel loved, yet they are extremely scared of being hurt themselves. Some girls grow to be women with a misunderstanding and a pressure of who they are supposed to be, wanting to fall in love and have a man, yet wanting careers and to be self-reliant. So somewhere they lose the sense of being female and who they are, the feminine side within a relationship, or when they hit that fear of becoming dependent on another, especially those suffering from PTSD, they can then pull away. Or they've been raised to believe that they get married and have children, even if it's not what they truly want. So they go with those beliefs and those expectations, yet as it's not what they truly want, they begin to struggle within the relationship. Or again, they've been raised to believe that they get married and have children and seek to have that perfect family life. And when it's not perfect, they struggle to cope, as nobody is perfect and we all make mistakes. When women are raised not sure on simply how to be themselves, to fit into a box of what women should be, often believing they need a Prince Charming to come and rescue them, they end up trying to act in ways they believe men want them to act, not being true to themselves. They can also go for the bad guy, the man that takes risks, as they seem more manly and more of a challenge, even though it's not what they truly want. Then when their emotions are on overdrive and they start projecting those onto the male, or when they are not happy and start provoking until the male snaps, they then blame the male for being violent and for being the narcissist. Most narcissists will do their best to provoke, to cause reactive abuse, so they can simply spin the story to suit themselves. Yet in culture, it's deemed far worse for men to lash out at a woman than a woman to lash out at a man, yet both are equally wrong. No one deserves that treatment from another human, male or female. Men then often feel guilty for lashing out, to which the female narcissist will then use against them to guilt trip them to get their own way. All people have narcissism within them, so when you're around negative narcissistic people, it can bring out your negative narcissistic side. The toxic relationship is formed, and neither of you might actually be narcissistic, yet you both get trapped in that cycle of abuse. If you have empathy for another person, if you feel guilt or remorse, if you ever blamed yourself, then you are not a narcissist. You've most likely just been around toxic people. It's possible most, not all, male narcissists use people to reach their goals. And most female narcissists use people to break free from social norm and use people to get to the top of that food chain. Society for a long time was the male as the breadwinner and the female as the homemaker. Roles are reversed in some ways these days, and people are becoming confused and conflicted as to what their role is in life, causing conflict within relationships as women try to be the women and the girl, yet the princess, yet they want the career. And men try to be the breadwinner and in charge, yet also try to take care of the home and the children. It's almost like a battle of wills as to who plays which role now. When it comes to a relationship, it's about being who you truly are, 50-50. So sometimes the women need to take care of her man, 90-10, depending on what's happening. And sometimes the man needs to look after the woman, 90-10, depending who's in the need of what at that time. And it is 50-50. Sometimes it's 40-60. Sometimes it's 60-40. Excuse me. There's becoming a lot of pressure on who's supposed to play which role in society. Yet we all have masculine and feminine energy. Both males and females are allowed to have both and do have both. Some female narcissists and some females who just have that drive for success can emasculate a man so that the man starts to stand up for themselves, only to be provoked by the woman. Like all narcissists, the females envy those who are where she would like to be. She manipulates situations to get where she wants to be and tries to control those around her to suit her wants and needs. Females can look towards a male to make them feel safe and secure and to be dominant. Yet NPD females or those suffering from PTSD can have already learned to become self-reliant. So in putting themselves in a position of trusting someone not to hurt them, it can be a very scary place to be. They then battle within their own minds to keep control of situations any way they can, usually by manipulation, and like male and female narcissists, most often pushing others away. They can also, if on the spectrum or suffering from NPD, not truly open up their love towards their partner, leaving the male not feeling appreciated. The male might try all they can to prove their love, yet as the female pushes them away, the male's feelings get hurt and they move away, for the female to then try and pull them back in. Female narcissistic friends use their friends. They are in competition with their friends, often putting friends down to feel better within themselves, envious of how the friends look, the relationships their friends have with others, often seeking to triangulate, divide and conquer to gain control of that friend for their own selfish need, rarely being supportive unless it's to manipulate further, or looking supportive yet destroying marriages and families with bad advice. They invalidate how friends look, think and feel. In a group of female friends, the narcissist or the one with the narcissistic traits will look for the strongest link, the biggest competition, to seek to isolate them for the rest of the group, to put their own opinion and perspectives into others about that person, to feel better within themselves, to destroy the one that they feel are doing well, to feel better within themselves. They can be extremely vindictive, cold and calculating in the ways that they achieve this. Now, no contact is always best if you're dealing with someone that has NPD. If they're just toxic, limiting your time around them, especially when they are provoking you. Retreat, rethink and respond only if you need to do so. Coming away from any relationship with any narcissist it can be friends, parents, family members. It's draining. It's the time to create new dreams and new routines for you, making your life work for you. You can and you will recover from this. If you have any advice on dealing with female narcissists, dealing with male narcissists, ways to recover, please do add it in the comments, because you could just help that one person. We are all individuals and it's about living lives for us. It's about living life for us, for who we truly are, for who we truly want to be, and be kind to others. Yet there's nothing wrong with taking care of your own needs first. It's like the aeroplane. You put the oxygen mask on yourself first so that you are at your best to help other people. So to be able to help and support other people, sometimes we do need to be selfish. Sometimes we do need to put our own selves first. We don't need to run around people pleasing. Being yourself, you can be kind to other people and you can please other people And good people will love you for who you are. You don't have to be someone else to get someone else to love who you are. Thank you for listening. Bye.